The city of Solaris Prime was always full of noise, light, and movement. Huge sky bridges crossed between shining towers, and hover cars moved smoothly through glowing lanes. People from many colonies walked the streets every day. Humans, androids, traders, scientists, soldiers, and even visitors from other planets. Solaris Prime was known for acceptance, for peace, and for cooperation. But sometimes, even in places of light, prejudice still lived quietly in hearts. One morning, an interstellar shuttle landed on the public arrival platform. Citizens gathered curious because the shuttle came from a distant star region known as Kairos. Kairos was a world of strong and proud alien people. They were known to be tall, brave, honorable, and skilled in combat. But they also had a strict culture about appearance. Beauty was respected, strength was admired, and scars on the face were considered a sign of shame or dishonor. The shuttle doors opened, and a group of Kyrian warriors stepped out. Their armor was dark silver and their skin had a faint blue tone. They looked noble, serious, and disciplined. But among them there was one who did not walk with pride. She walked slowly, quietly trying to stay behind others. A scarf covered most of her face. Her name was Leora. Rumors spread quickly. People whispered. The Kyrian ambassador had brought a woman from their planet for a special diplomatic cultural exchange. But no one expected her to look like this. Her scarf covered the right side of her face, but the left side, which was visible, was beautiful. Her eyes were bright, gentle, and full of depth. Her hair was silver white and fell softly over her shoulder. She looked delicate yet strong inside, but everyone knew what she was hiding, a scar, and when a guard scanned her for identification, she removed the scarf for a moment. Many gasped. Some looked away. Some stared too long. The scar ran from her forehead, across her right eye, and down her cheek. It was deep, old, and clearly from a terrible accident or battle. It did not make her ugly, but it made her different. And difference often made people uneasy. Even though Solaris Prime was a place of many species, many still judged what they did not understand. Leora lowered her head again, put the scarf back, and followed her group. She felt the stares. She heard the whispers. Even though no one said anything directly, it was enough to hurt. She had experienced this before, on her own planet among her own people. That was why she was here. Her world believed she no longer belonged. The Kyrian ambassador introduced her to a group of officials and community members who were responsible for hosting guests. Among them were several young men chosen to represent human culture and friendship. They were well-dressed, presentable, polite, and trained to communicate with different species. But when they saw Leora, many of them avoided eye contact. Some pretended to check their devices. Some smiled awkwardly and quickly turned away. One even whispered to another, "Why would they send her?" Leora did not react. She had heard similar comments many times. The ambassador spoke proudly of her. "This is Leora of House Serenth. She has strong mind, great talent for science, and knowledge of diplomacy. She will participate in cultural study and exchange with your people." The officials nodded, politely but without warmth. They were told to choose partners among the visitors for cultural exchange, meaning one human would be paired with one alien guest to learn from each other. A simple program. Usually many humans volunteered, but when the selection began, no one stepped forward to take Leora. The room became awkwardly silent. The ambassador's expression tightened, insult forming in his eyes. Leora stared at the floor, waiting for the same painful rejection again. Then, someone entered the hall, a little late but calm and confident. A young man, taller than most, with dark hair and bright eyes. He had a handsome face, but more importantly, he had a calm and warm presence. People in Solaris often talked about him with admiration. His name was Aaron Vale. Aaron was known not only for his appearance but also for his intelligence and kindness. He worked as an engineer for the city's transportation system, and he had a natural interest in alien cultures. He walked in carrying a data tablet and bowed politely to the officials before joining the group. When he saw the situation, he didn't hesitate. He stepped forward. "I will take her as my exchange partner," Aaron said. Everyone looked at him in surprise. One official whispered urgently, "Aaron, are you sure?" "There are others, yes," Aaron replied simply but firmly. "I am sure." Leora looked up shocked. Her eyes widened slightly. She had expected rejection, not acceptance. Aaron stepped closer, slowly, respectfully, not making her uncomfortable. He placed his hand over his chest in the gesture of greeting used on her planet. "Greetings, Leora of House Sarenth," he said gently. "My name is Aaron Vale. I am honored to learn from you." For the first time in a long while, Leora felt something warm, a small, quiet spark of hope. She lowered her head in return and responded in soft words. "I accept your companionship for the exchange." The ambassador looked relieved, even pleased. The officials nodded politely, though still with surprise. As they walked out together, Aaron spoke to her in an easy, friendly tone, not treating her differently, not acting nervous, not staring at her scar. Leora watched him carefully. Most people's eyes always found the scar first, but Aaron looked straight into her eyes. Like the scar did not exist. For the first time in years, she felt seen as a person, not a deformity. They walked through the shining city, and Aaron pointed out buildings, explained the transport lanes, and told her stories of Earth culture. Leora listened quietly at first, but slowly her voice returned. She asked questions, she shared small descriptions of her home planet, and her tone became more alive. By evening, they reached the residence where she would stay during the program. Aaron helped carry her small bag. When they stopped at the door, Leora hesitated. She looked at him and said softly, "Why did you choose me?" Aaron smiled, not a shallow smile, but a gentle one. "Because everyone deserves to be welcomed," he said. "Scars are only proof that someone has survived." Leora felt her heart tremble, not in fear, but in something warm and unfamiliar. Respect, and perhaps the beginning of trust. But unknown to both of them, shadows were also moving in the galaxy, and Leora's past was not finished with her. Her scar was not just a wound. It was a sign of something far greater and far more dangerous, to be continued. Days passed on Solaris Prime, and Aaron and Leora slowly became familiar with each other's presence. The cultural exchange program gave them daily tasks, attending language lessons, touring important sites in the city, sharing meals, and discussing their worlds. Aaron did not treat it like an assignment. He treated it like a friendship. He respected her pace, her silence, and her personal space. He did not push her to talk about things she did not want to talk about. Leora noticed this, and because of that, she began to speak more. They visited the Great Sky Garden, a floating park suspended between buildings with trees, flowers, and gentle white birds gliding through open air. Leora sat quietly, letting the breeze move her silver hair. Aaron sat beside her. Her eyes followed the birds. "On my planet," she said softly, "we have sky gliders. They are strong, large-winged creatures. They choose only one rider in their lifetime. If the rider is kind, they stay loyal forever." Aaron smiled. "Beautiful, but also very meaningful." Leora nodded and looked at him. "Yes, on Kiros, loyalty is the most important value. But my people, they did not stay loyal to me." Her voice softened as if a memory had surfaced again, a memory she wished she could forget. Aaron did not ask. He simply waited. After a few moments, she continued, because the silence felt safe with him. "I was part of a research team on my world," she said. "We studied ancient ruins near the northern ridge. It was peaceful. I liked my work. I liked understanding history and learning from the past. But one day a group of raiders attacked the research base." Her hand moved up slightly, touching the edge of her scarf where the scar would be. "They destroyed our equipment. They hurt many of us. I tried to protect my team, but I failed. The explosion left this scar. And after that, my own people began to treat me differently. They said I brought shame, that I should have died instead of surviving." Aaron listened quietly, his expression calm but his heart heavy. "They were wrong," he said softly. Leora closed her eyes for a moment. "Maybe, but belief is powerful. When many believe something, even lies become reality." She turned her head to him. "My scar is not the true reason they sent me here. They wanted me gone. I was a reminder of something they did not want to face. Failure, vulnerability." Aaron exhaled slowly. "Leora, what you survived was bravery, not shame." She did not reply immediately. She simply looked at him, really looked. Something inside her softened. For the first time, she felt understood. Over the next week, Aaron introduced Leora to his work. He showed her the hover rail system he helped design. He explained the magnetic levitation lines and power stabilizers. Leora was fascinated and asked thoughtful questions. Her intelligence became clear to everyone in the facility. Some workers respected her. Some kept their distance. Some stared at her scar when they thought she wasn't looking, but Aaron always saw it. And each time, he gently changed the subject, drawing attention back to her words, not her appearance. One evening, as they were leaving the engineering center, a group of young workers stood near the exit. They had been whispering all day. When Leora walked past them, one muttered under his breath, "Ugly alien. Probably dangerous." Aaron immediately stopped and stepped in front of Leora, his voice calm but firm. "You don't speak to guests that way," he said, "and you don't judge someone based on what you don't understand." The workers grew quiet. Embarrassed, Leora watched Aaron as they walked away. "You defended me," she said in a quiet tone full of surprise. "Of course," Aaron replied. "That's what people do for each other." Leora shook her head. "Not in my world." Aaron looked at her gently. "Then maybe it's time to have a new world." But peace never lasts forever. One night, Leora had trouble sleeping. She stepped out onto the balcony of her residence and watched the city lights stretch into the horizon. Her scarf was off, her scar glowing faintly in the moonlight. She looked calm, almost peaceful, until she heard the faint sound of something landing on the rooftop above. Not a bird, not a hover drone. The sound was heavier, quiet but intentional. She froze. Her instincts, trained from years of surviving, awakened. She moved slowly back into the room and reached for a small communication device. But before she could press it, a shadow moved outside the window. Tall, armored, with glowing red markings on the helmet. Kyrian, not the ambassador's guard. Not part of any peaceful delegation. This was something else. A figure stepped into view and spoke through a voice filter. "Leora of House Sarenth, you have been located. Return quietly and no harm will come." Leora felt her chest tighten. She had known this moment might come, but she had hoped it would not. The raiders from before, they had not wanted to attack a research site for simple destruction. They had been searching for something specific, something Leora had discovered, something important, something dangerous. She took a slow breath. "No," she said. The figure moved closer. "You belong to us. You carry information that does not belong to your house. You were allowed to live only so you could lead us to the location." Leora stepped back, her voice calm but strong. "I owe you nothing. I will not return, and I will not help you." The figure reached for her, but before contact could happen, the door to the room opened. Arene stood there. He had come because he noticed her lights were still on and wanted to check she was all right. He froze when he saw the intruder. The armored figure turned sharply without thinking. Aaron grabbed Leora's arm and pulled her behind him, even though the intruder was clearly stronger and armed. Leora's eyes widened. "Aaron, no." But Aaron did not step back. His voice was steady. "Leave now, this is protected territory. Any threat here will be reported." The intruder hesitated, because harming a civilian on Solaris Prime would start international conflict. After a moment, they stepped back toward the open window. "This is not finished," the figure said. "We will return." They leapt silently into the darkness, vanishing into the air pathways of the night. Silence filled the room. Leora stood very still. Aaron turned to her. "Are you hurt?" Leora shook her head slowly. Her voice trembled. "They came for me, because of what I know, because of what I found in those ruins. The scar is not the real reason I am hated. It is because I survived when I should have died, and because I learned something I was never meant to learn." Aaron stepped closer. "Then tell me," he said quietly. "You don't have to carry this alone." Leora looked at him, her eyes shining with fear, sadness, and trust. "There is a secret," she said softly. "A secret that could change both our worlds. And those who want to control it would do anything to get it." The city lights flickered outside. The shadows were no longer far away. They were here, and the danger had only just begun. After the intruder left, Leora and Aaron sat together in silence for a long time. The city outside glowed quietly, as if unaware of the danger moving in its shadows. Aaron's apartment was small and warm, filled with small plants and soft lights. It felt safe, but Leora knew safety was only temporary. Aaron waited patiently. He did not pressure her. Finally, Leora spoke. On my world, many generations ago, our ancestors discovered something hidden under the northern mountains. It was an artifact. Not from our people. Not from any known civilization. It was ancient. Older than any life we know. She paused and took a slow breath. When my research team studied the ruins, we found inscriptions. They spoke of a power source. Something able to reshape energy fields across planets. A technology that could either protect worlds or destroy them. Aaron listened carefully, his eyes focused on hers. This artifact, Leora continued, was believed to be connected to star energy. If misused, it could drain life instead of giving it. My team wanted to secure it, study it slowly, carefully, but others wanted to use it for control. Her voice tightened, not with fear, but with pain. The raiders who attacked us, they were not random criminals. They were part of a secret faction on my planet. A faction that believes power is the only truth. They wanted me because I deciphered the location of the artifact's core. I knew where it was hidden. She looked directly into Aaron's eyes. And I refused to tell them. Aaron nodded slowly. So the scar is from protecting something important. Yes, Leora said softly. But my people did not believe that. They only saw that I survived. And survival to them meant shame. Aaron's voice was gentle but firm. Survival means strength. You survived because you were brave. Leora's eyes softened. His words were simple, but they carried healing. For the first time, she could say her truth without being rejected. The next morning, Aaron contacted the Solaris Council. They sent security to protect Leora's residence and began tracking unidentified alien signals near the city. Everyone took the situation seriously now. The Kyrian ambassador was informed. His expression was heavy. You should have told us, Leora, he said quietly. We could have protected you sooner. Leora lowered her head respectfully. I did not want to bring danger to your people or to this city. The ambassador sighed. It is too late for that now. They will return, Aaron stepped forward. Then we prepare. We don't run. The ambassador looked at him carefully, as if seeing something more in him than just a handsome young engineer. You care for her, he said. Aaron did not look away. He did not hesitate. Yes, I do. Leora felt her heart tremble again, this time stronger, not from fear, but from something like hope. That evening, Aaron and Leora returned to the Sky Garden, the place where she had first shared a piece of her past. The floating trees swayed in the soft wind. The white birds moved silently across the sky. Leora looked at the horizon. I used to believe my scar made me weak, that it made me lesser. Aaron stood beside her. Your scar shows that you survived something others could not. She turned toward him, her eyes reflecting the evening light. Do you truly not see it as something ugly? Aaron shook his head, slow and steady. I see a reminder of your courage, a mark of your strength, and a part of your story. Leora's chest felt warm, a feeling she hadn't known in years. Something melted inside her, something that had been frozen for a long time. She whispered, Thank you. But Aaron wasn't finished. You don't have to hide it anymore, he said gently. Leora reached up and slowly removed her scarf. The scar caught the golden light of sunset. Not ugly, not frightening, just real. People walking in the Sky Garden noticed. Some stared. Some didn't. But no one said anything cruel, and even if they did, she was no longer alone. Aaron stood with her. But as the sun set, the air shifted. The ambassador's guards appeared at the garden entrance. They have returned, one said urgently. Their ship is nearby. They demand her surrender. Leora's breath caught. But she did not step back this time. She did not hide. She stood tall. Aaron looked at her. We faced them together. She nodded. Together they walked to the diplomatic courtyard where the intruders waited. The leader, the same armored figure from before, stood in the center. Behind him were several others, but not many. This was not an attack force. This was a message. Leora of House Serenth, the leader called out. Return with us. You know the consequences if you refuse. Leora stood straight, her voice strong and calm. I will not return, and I will not reveal the location of the artifact. That knowledge must not be misused. The leader's visor tilted slightly. You think you can protect it alone? Leora shook her head. I am not alone anymore. Aaron stepped forward. The leader studied him. A human? You trust one of them? Yes, Leora said, her voice clear. Because he sees beyond scars. Beyond fear, he sees the person. The courtyard became silent, heavy, meaningful. The leader exhaled slowly. Then know this. The faction that wants the artifact will not stop. They will come again. The galaxy will soon feel their reach. Leora's expression did not break. Then we will be ready. The leader paused, then gave a silent signal. His group stepped back. This is not surrender, he said. This is delay. Use your time well. And just like that, they departed, disappearing into the sky. No battle. No destruction. Just a promise of conflict in the future, but for now, peace. That night, Leora and Aaron stood on the balcony overlooking the shining city. The danger was not gone, but something had changed. Leora no longer felt like a burden. She no longer felt like a shame. She no longer felt alone. Aaron gently touched her hand, slow, respectful, letting her decide. She did not pull away. Their hands remained together, fingers intertwined quietly. Natural. Warm. Leora spoke softly. On my world, we have a saying. When someone stays beside you when the world turns against you, they become your true home. Aaron smiled. Not the charming smile others admired, but the warm, sincere one that belonged only to her. Then let us build a new home, he said. Together. Leora looked out at Solaris Prime, bright, alive. Filled with endless possibilities, she nodded. Yes. Together. Because now, her scar was no longer just a mark from the past. It was the beginning of a future. A future where she was not rejected. A future where she was seen. A future where she was loved. The end.